All right, this is insane. All right, can you hear Trey? Well, I give up. I don't want to do this anymore. It's lost my interest. I'm just kidding. I'm just like this is insane. I'm not. I think that Streamlabs is not going to work. Can I hide my video? Yes, I can hide my video. Um, yeah, I think we're gonna have to use OBS or something. Like Gabriel, we're not like Discord is what it's not. Okay, how about now? It wasn't last time, and you still couldn't hear him, but maybe it fixed it now. Yeah, we could stream a Discord call, but I think there's a lot of things you lose out on with um, like overlays and transitions and all that kind of stuff if you're not using OBS or something somewhere. And we want to be able to stream directly to Twitch and YouTube at the same time, and I don't think Discord can do that. Hmm? Yeah, Trey is iPhone cam. Yes, it's okay. I yeah. Um, I mean, what's the point of having you? I mean, what's the point of collab cam if like I can't bring in your audio? I think we just want the audio from Discord, right? Or I guess send your video. Okay. I'm trying to think of how that is going to work. I have no idea what I'm doing, so all right. Let's try it, I guess. Um, I mean, somebody out there must have figured this out because people do this all the time. I don't understand why it's so difficult for me. Like, I think we are just dumb. Hold on. You, I, I'm inviting Mr. Trey, and yeah, I googled that, and I got like the only thing that came up was just that I couldn't hear you at all. The thing is, I can hear you, but it just doesn't go into my stream, and there's no. I didn't see any like immediate results about that where like the audio is working, just not for the stream. Can you right click iPhone camera, look at the properties in Mixer? Yes. All right. Test.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Yep, there it is.
The street lamp.
Matt with the fucking rescue. Let's go.
What a save.
What a save. Nice shot.
Can you believe it?
We did it.
We're here.
You have my stream, you have my screen, my video, my audio. We got everything, dude.
It took 40 minutes.
40 minutes to figure out.
No, it took
how to do this.
44 minutes. Okay. Cool. That's what
go.
we're going to do.
Right. Why are we here again?
Why are we here?
Yeah. Okay. I think we were going to explain the concept and then do our first work session.
Okay. I'm going to pull up our little doc and
I'm doing the same thing.
all right.
Can anybody see my screen just out of curiosity? I have no idea what you guys are seeing. I just see this bizarre Streamlabs interface.
They can see your screen if I turn it on. Like
that's fine.
So,
you don't have to do it right now.
Yeah, I need to set different scenes, like so that I can show my screen or just your screen or both our screens and all that. Right now, I just have everything very raw and I'm manually turning things on and off. So like now, if I go here and wait, how did I? Oh no, you know what? No, we're live. I'm not even gonna touch it. I was like, how did I end up with Trey? I ended up with your iPhone cam twice in my sources, but I'm not gonna touch it right now.
Yep, who cares?
I think if I do this, assign to add new source, tray screen.
Matt said, don't touch anything. That's hilarious.
Don't touch anything. All right, cool. And then I can take yours and I can drag it here. And now we can see your screen. And then if I want to go back to my screen, I should do that. Y'all can see Trey's screen now? I can see the document. I can also see the document.
The
all right, cool.
All right. JC, did you figure out the last thing? Did you figure out how to add like a little marker in the stream so we know where to cut this to make a YouTube vid?
Does it just work if you do like the bang marker in the chat? Or do you have to like, is that a plugin you have to add? Yeah, it looks like that's not like a native thing. Okay. I've seen like streamers just do like exclamation point marker and do it. I don't know. Let me Google it.
Scream so we know to cut the editing. My Safari literally does not work. I hope anyone else is seeing this.
All right. I'm trying to find. I think you're looking at the same thing.
Open your live dashboard page. There will be a widget labeled Stream Markers. When you want to add a marker to a specific timestamp, simply click the Add Marker App button. You can also use the shortcut Command B.
There will be a Stream Markers widget. Stream Markers widget. I'm going to assume it's over here. Aha!
Figure it out?
Yes. Add a stream marker. Beginning of pre-show talks. Sure. does that mean you can also do game marker now? No. I don't know how to get the little. I want to learn how to do that. How to get the
Yeah, we'll do that
exclamation
next
point
time.
thing. All right. Um, all right. I kind of went over this last night, but I think we could do it again, like for our actual show. Just like introduce ourselves and then talk about what we're actually doing here.
Let's do it.
Um,
All right. Everyone, welcome to the Duopreneur Show. I am Trey Goff, and this is JC Hyatt. We are two friends from Mississippi who are going to be building businesses live with each and every one of you so that you can see the idiotic mistakes we make along the way, as well as what successes we might have. Things like, for example, taking an hour to set up simple simultaneous streaming, which is apparently beyond our cognitive capacities, but we'll get to that another day. Maybe that'll be a special YouTube video of just seeing us flounder about trying to make this work. So, by way of brief introduction and background, I was born and raised in southern Mississippi, just north of Hattiesburg, if any of you know where that is, in a little town called Ellisville. I went to Mississippi State University, double majored in political science and economics. From there, I had a really weird first job out of college where I worked with this entrepreneur named Joel Baumgar, who was dabbling in politics at the time, and he basically sponsored me like a patron would sponsor an artist in 15th century Florentine Italy. He paid me to do anything that I could justify to him would advance liberty and prosperity in the world. So I did a bunch of fun stuff, wrote some legislation that got passed, wrote some books, all that fun stuff. Got tired of politics. And from there up until the last year, worked at a company called Prospera that builds free private cities. It's the first charter city company in the world. I can talk more about that with anyone who might want to learn more about it. It's a really cool project. You can just go to prospera.hn to learn more if you want. And then in the last year, I switched full-time to co-founding an edtech platform called Learn Arena that JC and I also work together on. So that's a little bit about me. JC, you want to introduce yourself a little bit, and then we'll describe what in the world it is we're doing here?
yeah. So I'm also from Mississippi. Trey is way smarter than me and way more credentialed than me. I did not go to school, or I went to school for a few semesters and realized that I did not want to go to school. I am a software engineer by trade. I have started lots of random businesses since I was like 13, 14 years old. I also started learning the code around the same time and ended up building websites for people in high school. I did concert promotion, just like booking random metal bands back in the day. And then started an agency, like a marketing agency that eventually just kind of became more of a software agency when I graduated high school, and worked in all kinds of fields too. I did a little stint in aviation, a little stint in I actually worked for Apple for a year, just like in the store. That was actually my first job out of high school. But yeah, I've been in like tech and like creative space and stuff like that forever. Started lots of little niche digital businesses with friends, most of which went nowhere. Some were moderately successful. Nothing major, definitely no like big exit or anything like that. But I did make some things that actually made money and produced some value in the world. But that's pretty much me. I married, been married for coming up on 10 years, got a baby, and living the American dream. And Trey and I met through Joel Baumgar as well, and have become good friends, and have probably spent the vast majority of our time together gaming. But now we also work together on his startup. So yeah, you want to dig in here to kind of what we're doing?
Heck yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it. All right. So what we are doing here, we are calling the Duopreneur Show. And by the way, Matt or Gabriel, let me know in the chat if I'm talking too quickly. I'm in podcast headspace right now, which means I'm trying to talk more slowly, but let me know if it's still too fast. So what we're trying to do here is build something we're calling duopreneurs. And what we're trying to do is contrast a little bit from the classic kind of solopreneur grind and space that is a well-known and well-carved niche on the internet, especially on Twitter and a few other spaces, where people will effectively, especially software engineers, will build very low margin, low cost, very high margin, low cost software businesses as individuals. This is referred to as solopreneurship, which effectively just refers to, right, starting a small but profitable business that you run by yourself. The problem with that is JC and I both have ADHD, okay? So we have ideas for businesses all the time that would fit that solopreneur niche, that they're kind of easy to spin up and run by yourself, don't require a lot of capital or OpEx or anything like that. But they stay as ideas, because me and JC will be playing Rocket League and be like, hey, I have this idea for this thing, we should do it. And we're like, yeah, we totally should after this game. And then that game stretches on for the next 3 hours and it never gets done. So a big part of what we're trying to do here is hold each other accountable. That's why we're calling it duopreneurs, because we both have ideas all the time that we would qualify under that kind of solopreneur banner, but we never get around to them. And having that accountability and having a complementary set of skills to build these things together, I think will be much more lucrative and successful in the long term. And if nothing else, it'll be a fun little fun side project and hobby for JC and I. So we applied for the Buildspaces nights and weekends cohort 3 or S3. Does S3 stand for season, JC? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, season 3.
All right, season 3. And we got in with the concept of this show and this project. And what we're going to be doing, in a nutshell, if I had to put it in a sentence, is building small, profitable businesses quickly and in public. So, JC, I'll hand over to you to talk a little bit about the idea of radical transparency that we're trying to do here, and the kind of niche we're carving out in the streaming and YouTube space that just doesn't exist right now.
Yeah, that was the initial idea. And again, I talked about this ad nauseum last night on the stream, and so that'll also be on our second channel when we actually make the YouTube channels this week. A little more like just raw and long form. But this idea started as just there's very little content creation for the solopreneur space, people trying to make digital niche businesses. And that's something that I personally would watch, especially if it was something like just raw and unfiltered, where I'm seeing, everything. I'm seeing like all the different problems this person is encountering. I'm watching them code. I'm watching them like design landing pages or design like ads for Facebook or whatever it is. Like I'm watching them, or I can watch whatever pieces of their whole journey that I want to. And the other idea was in terms of just giving something more of an interesting spin, being able to produce that kind of content, but do it under certain constraints. So like being able to, this original idea in my head was probably almost a year ago. I think I was playing Warzone with Trey, and I was like, what if we just built a business every month for a year and like recorded it? That was actually like probably the seed of this, was just that little idea. Because I was like, I would totally watch that. I would watch every episode of that if that was a show. And that's morphed into, well, why don't we like build all these businesses? Considering that we have lots of ideas, we also have the inability to hone in and focus on one thing. Why don't we like constrain ourselves and get to have like this playground where we build whatever we want? We build lots of V1s and MVPs of random ideas, and we see which ones are like actually cool and people like, and we iterate, and maybe they go somewhere, maybe they don't. Maybe we sell them, maybe we just, who knows? They go wherever they will. But we do everything like ultra publicly, like every like session of us just chatting and like going through ideas and kind of poking holes in each other's ideas and all that kind of stuff. Like everything is just on the table so that people can actually see the behind the scenes of all the different things that we're having to consider, all the different problems we're encountering and how we're solving them. And hopefully be able to take that and apply that to whatever they're trying to do, like whatever business they're trying to build. Um, so that's kind of what we're planning to do here. I think we're trying to do a main channel on YouTube, and then do like a second channel that's just like the raw video uploads from all these streams. Um, this program that we're in for Buildspace is 6 weeks long. So I think the plan is to get into hopefully even a daily habit of, even if they're just small, just anytime we have a conversation about what we're working on, to just like hit record. I'm trying to make it easy for me to even like do that with my phone if I wanted to. Like if we just have a random discussion, it's like, Trey has a random idea in the middle of the afternoon, I'm at the gym, like I could still just turn on my phone and start recording and streaming somehow. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm very new to the streaming and the AV space and all that. But that is the idea. And I think this has kind of grown to more than just a YouTube channel and content creation. Like now it's like a legitimate playground, or maybe even studio to like just work on all these ideas and actually try to not only do it for content creation and try to do it under constraints for like, to build things in certain amounts of time, like you have 24 hours to build a profitable business, like go. But also to like actually build the things and like potentially make money from those things, or at least take some kind of learnings from each one. So I'm really excited about this. Like I'm excited about this in every way. I get to work with a buddy. Every enjoyable business I ever built was with a friend that was never alone. And I get to just play with ideas. And Trey's also a guy who has lots of good ideas too. Like we both have just lists and lists of ideas, and I'm excited to just I could see myself doing this for a while, for a very, very long time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The only other thing I'll add is, just so there's no ambiguity, we're not quitting our day jobs to do this. Quite the contrary. In fact, a big part of the appeal of this for JC and I is that like what idle time we have right now, we're basically spending gaming. And part of this was like, hey, what if instead of gaming, we like just built these businesses we have ideas for? And I think it'll be basically just as fun as gaming, if not more fun, except this could also make us some money and hopefully entertain you guys along the way. So to that end, we can kind of dive into the actual meat of what it is we're up to today. So JC and I first, as kind of a heuristic, as a guiding principle, right? We're doing this as lean, aggressive, quick, and easy as possible. And what I mean by that is, just to give you a concrete example, right? We haven't set up a legal entity. We haven't built a website yet. None of that stuff. It's coming later. We're just going to dive in and start building stuff. And as those things come up and we need them, we'll build them. So starting off here, you can see in our kind of Google Doc here, we're keeping it as simple as possible. This is our task manager for now. Literally, we just have some check marks in a Google Doc. We'll transition to something more robust when we need it, but we're keeping things, again, I cannot stress enough, you'll hear me repeat this a million times, as simple, frictionless, and straightforward as is possible, using as many public, open source, and even free tools as is possible. So, for example, you'll see a YouTube video later, either this week or next week, once we get the channel up and running, which is one of the to-dos, of me trying and failing to create our logo and brand aesthetic and brand guide using AI art. It failed miserably because AI art sucks at letters. It can't do with letters. So you can watch me fail at that for 30 minutes. It's pretty funny. I get increasingly frustrated as the stream goes on. I went back and watched a little bit of it earlier. It's pretty funny.
AI sucks in general, to be clear.
So this will be a recurring theme you guys will see. I'm an AI maxi. I'm a effective accelerationist, right? Like I want these things building Dyson spheres next year. JC thinks we're a little ways off from that. I do not. But so far, the scoreboard is 1 point for JC, 0 for me, because I couldn't get it to make me a logo. It might be user error, but I definitely couldn't make it work. So that'll be pretty entertaining for you guys. So JC, you want to dive into really quickly what it is that we are, some of the ideas we have to start building and launch an MVP of by this weekend.
Yeah, I guess, should we kind of cap this at maybe like 3 per each of us, just, or maybe even fewer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have 2 main ones that we've discussed before, and then I want you to hear your 3. These are the ones my brain is stuck on right now. Okay, and I'll do 30 seconds each, and then you do yours, and we'll dive in. Cool. The first one was a joint idea from JC and I. So in the Learn Arena work Slack, we have this motivation bot that's supposed to give you a motivational quote every day. Except this is an academic term. You can look this up on Google Scholar. There have been papers about this. It is what is referred to as pseudo-profound bullshit. and excuse my language, but that's literally the academic term. The motivational bots quotes suck. So me and JC thought, hey, what if we build a motivational bot does the same thing, except the quotes are actually good and they're actually based and they actually are motivational. So that's one idea we have. Another idea I have, actually, I'll do three just because the third one we can knock out pretty quickly, JC, because we already ruled it out in a conversation the other day. Second one I have is GPT for kids. Okay, so there are, and if any of you have been around kids ages like 7 to 13, 14, somewhere in there, they just have an insatiable curiosity. They're trying to understand how the world works, and they ask the question why a lot. And it just so happens that large language models, and especially GPT-4, no longer do anywhere near as much factual hallucination. And therefore, I thought a potentially quite profitable and popular app could be, what if we build basically what is in effect a chat box and a GPT wrapper for children and for the ages of like 7, 8 to like 13, 14. I have a bunch of, JC, actually, this is funny. I should have recorded this. I talked about this with my wife while we were cooking 2 nights ago, and she had a ton of fantastic ideas for how to make that work. She works this, for context, guys, my wife is an occupational therapist, pediatric occupational therapist. She works with little kids all the time. So she had a bunch of great feedback from like on the ground working with kids every day that I think will make it much better. And then the third idea was, and we can talk about why we're going to roll this out last if you want, JC, because it'll be quick. There's an idea for my wife, actually. She has all these reward programs for fast food restaurants, right? Like Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, whatever, but they all have their own separate iPhone apps. So she said, you know, it'd be really nice if there was an app where all of my rewards programs and the associated QR codes I have to scan at the restaurants were just in one place. Instead of having to go to the Wendy's app and the Chick-fil-A app, whatever, she'd just have one place to access all of these. Actually, I think that sounds like a great idea. But upon initial discussions with me and JC made some great points that render that effectively not doable within the confines of what we're trying to do with duopreneurs. It's just too capital intensive for reasons we can get into. So those are my three. So JC, you can either react to any of those or just throw yours out there, and then we'll start working on them.
Yeah, I think so. I'll just throw mine out there. I think actually that would be another great stream in and of itself. Maybe later tonight or tomorrow to just like actually dig into each one of these, like whichever one we don't, or the ones we don't want to pick. Like go ahead and like still dig into them of why maybe we didn't pick them. I think that would be great content. But regardless, yeah. So I'll spit off a few. I was like actually like furiously looking through my list of things because I have so many that I'm like I wasn't really I wasn't prepared to pick any right now, and I should have been. But I do have a few. One is and so my I will preface this. My criteria for like picking things was solely based on like what is something that I know for a fact I can build and launch super quickly. Like I can build and launch a V1 like insanely quickly. I think out of yours, the Quotes app is like the obvious one that's just like insanely easy for us to quickly get a V1 out and get it in, like get people using it. Like that's like the obvious one. For me, the first one that comes to mind is just a simple like service uptime monitoring thing. Like there's a few of these out there. Some of them are or some of them are actually pretty good. I think the fact that I already have a somewhat of a following in the developer space, I think would maybe help in terms of just like marketing it. But just something simple that isn't trying to sell you on a subscription, but maybe it's like a pay per use or something like that, just to ping your web server or your service and tell you if it's up or not, or get you a text message or something's down or whatever. Something that can be built fairly quickly. For the next one would be just a way to, so like I really, really enjoy looking at pictures of other people's like workstations and setups and stuff like that. And so if you go on Reddit, like our battle stations, or there's another site that it's not as active as it used to be, but there was a site called the sweetsetup.com, and they used to do a lot more than they do now, but they would write these like profiles on people, and they would put like photos of their setup and like all the apps they use on their devices and all that kind of stuff. And like that's probably not that interesting to some people, but for some people like me, it's just like we're just big nerds about it. So always chasing that like ideal set up, and I would love to do a way for people to like share their just share their battle stations, and then I definitely see some ways to monetize that I won't go into yet, but that's another one. Another one that I thought of would be so this is like I've always wanted to go back to the days where I booked concerts in high school because I had so much fun doing it. But like there's not that much money in it in Mississippi and or in general unless you're just really really good at it. But I thought of like, well, what if you took the job of the promoter, the concert promoter, and you kind of made it more of a decentralized thing where the locals of a particular city are actually they are the promoters themselves. So what got me thinking about this was I was listening to a podcast the other day, actually from the lead vocalist of Avenged Sevenfold, and he was like, I would love to do a show with just like us and Post Malone and like all these other genres where we all came together. But for whatever reason, when you like people say they want it, but for whatever reason, when you actually try to make it happen, like the ticket sales are never there. And I got to thinking, like, what if you could make a service where people in various cities could like say, I live here and these are my ideal lineups. Like I want to see these lineups, and people could make their lineups and vote on the lineups they want to see. And then like they could even vote with their dollar. Where like if this lineup was ever made, just charge my card on file or something like that. And the bands can like see these analytics and like actually plan their tours this way or plan like these out of the world, like out of the genre collabs and stuff like that. But so those are my three. That one's obviously a little beefier, but those are my first three to come to mind.
I like it. I like it. So based on yours as well, it seems to me like perhaps for our V1 of duopreneurs, one of the easiest to build immediately is, like you said, the quotes app. I think that's just brain dead simple. And in fact, I accidentally did this off stream just because it was before JC and I decided to record everything we do. I've already collated a bunch of the good quotes. So some of the upfront just legwork there is already done. Now, my only concern about that one, JC, or maybe not concern, but I don't see basically any way to monetize it because we don't pay for that motivation bot, and I don't know anybody that would pay for that. Like if we had to pay for the motivation bot, I wouldn't integrate it because why?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know how we want to kind of score these ideas when we have them. Like, I mean, maybe there are just ideas that like we just think this would be cool to exist. Maybe it doesn't have to make us money. I do see at least one path to monetization for that if it got enough traffic. Obviously, have some sort of advertising way, means behind that, like to where at least on the API docs page you put at least AdSense or something. But that's really all I can see. I don't see like people paying us to integrate a based quotes API into their apps.
I don't either, but I actually like the idea of doing it first anyway, even though there's basically no way to monetize it right now because it'll let us ship something.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think it would probably be pretty straightforward to ship. We do it the way we're describing. So do you want to go through each one of these and why maybe that one is the best to go first relative to the others? Or do you want to just dive right into discussing what do we need to do next for the quotes app?
I think I'd rather make the latter a second or separate stream.
Gotcha.
Off the top of my head, the quotes app at first glance is not the best one to start with, just because this is like a solopreneur, like we are in the business of building a business, implying that we want to make money, but at the same time, as Trey and I already stated, we both have focus issues, and so I think momentum is super important, and this is still something like a key takeaway for viewers is building momentum is extremely important, especially as a solopreneur, because it's what's going to keep you motivated. And so even if we're not necessarily going to monetize this, I think it is the one that out of the list here, it is the one that we can most quickly start to see instant results on and get like users on. And it could be monetized, and maybe that's something ends up getting actually, at least we start having conversations about how it works. But before we even think about that, we can build this, and I already know as a developer that I can make the cost of building this very cheap and the cost of this getting users really cheap until it hit a certain amount. And if it starts hitting a certain amount, that's when we'll really look into monetization because the users will be there.
I like that. It's a good point about the momentum, and it's one that we should have made early on, but I think it's one that's worth making, which is that, yeah, just getting momentum, building something at all is like half of the battle a lot of the time.
Absolutely.
I'm making a spreadsheet, by the way. Well, I'll finish fleshing this out later for where we can write down the ideas and then just score them 1 to 10 on a few categories, just so we can add a little rigor to this. I'll share that later once I build it out a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Oops, I closed the Google Doc. Let me open it back up. Okay, so for this idea, it seems like there's 2 main components, right? Which is the bot itself and then the database it pulls from, the database of quotes. As I mentioned earlier, I have already started the quotes themselves. So let's inventory really quickly, JC, on that same Google Doc. Where is it? Oh, a different account. Whatever, I'll pull it up in a minute. I have like way too many Google accounts. So let's go down here. I'm going to the bottom of the doc, JC, and I'm going to add a section, idea 1, paste, quotes, bot. All right. Let's make an inventory really quickly. I call this key components. So this would be, in my mind, the quote database, the bot itself, choosing integration or platform. This one should just be called integration platforms, which will be part of building the bot itself. Like, where do we want to integrate this?
I'm going to drop I'm going to drop our quotes app, our quotes spreadsheet into the chat. Is that cool with you?
Go for it. Yeah, absolutely. I was just trying to pull it up. I don't know. I can't remember which Google account I made it under.
Actually, let me share it to myself. You made it under your Learn. I'm sharing it to myself though, so as an editor,
do that.
So I can. Yeah, there we go.
Do that. And copy it to yours or something.
Yeah, and I'll share it with you too. Okay.
Perfect. All right, so we have the bot itself, the integration platforms, and of course we have like, how do people find out about this, right? So maybe a stupid simple website for it, and then we would need to get it into the Slack apps library, and then other integration platform app libraries. Seems like that's really all there is to this. Can you think of anything else we're missing as far as like key components that we need here, JC? Or something you want to eliminate from this? Yes, I can.
Yeah. All right.
I'll do it a little more. Hold
on. Okay. When we say bot, like you're implying Slack bot, right?
I am implying Slack bot, although that's the next point there, which is like, how else would we want to deploy this? Like, because a thought also occurred to me, which is that this could just be a Twitter page that tweets a motivational quote a day.
Yeah, I'd like this in Discord.
Ooh, I like that integration. So let's go here. Let's go.
So I just made the Duopreneurs Discord. I'd like to put this in there to put something in there every day. I also would like to behind the scenes, like I guess we could implement this at Learn Arena since it's on brand.
Oh yeah, this is for sure to be implemented. Dude, we could swap out the Stoic quotes we already have on the platform with this.
Yeah, we could just like integrate those into it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of doing a tweet every day. I have to look at I know there's been a lot of changes around Twitter API stuff lately. They've kicked a lot of bots off and revoked a lot of access and stuff like that. So we'll have to see about the Twitter stuff.
Right.
Because I'm also not going to pay like $5,000 a month just to post these to Twitter. No. Discord is definitely the easiest one because I've done it before. I've done a Slack bot before, but if I remember correctly, I think Discord was just like the dead simplest one to do. But the first thing I would do is just an API with a website here. because we can get that up and going pretty quickly. And then you use the API to write the bot.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
What's the last point? Your camera's covering it for me.
Oh, sorry. It just says other integration platforms, app libraries. I was just saying this needs to show up somehow in, like, there's a Slack app library you can shop around to see what you want to integrate. Discord has a bot library, like a bot marketplace type thing. We'll just need to make sure this appears there on those type of places. That'd be like the last step, by the way.
You could maybe put one in Twitch too. Like you might be possible to do something in Twitch. I haven't done a Twitch bot before, but obviously they're a thing.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
The foundation though will just be the API. So that's something like that'd be the first thing to start on. Because you've already assembled the quotes. Actually here's an opportunity to get a point for your cute AI is feed it all those and see like, hey, find me similar quotes by similar like figures of the same level of like noteworthiness or something like similar clout.
That's a really good idea. Okay, I'm gonna add that right here. Hold on. Use AI to generate more quotes. I wonder if it hallucinates quotes. This will be a fun experiment. See if LLMs hallucinate quotes. I bet it does.
Oh, I bet it does.
I'm gonna cross check the first few.
This is total sabotage.
Yeah, I'm gonna cross check the first few to see if that worked. Maybe it'll generate better quotes than humans. We'll just have de novo quotes. They're all attributed to GPT.
Wait, wasn't there? Is there? What was it? Was it Chad GPT or something? Like maybe you should ask the base Chat GPT that came out.
Oh yeah, the right wing GPT. That's what it was called. Right wing GPT. It was just GPT without any of the content filters OpenAI built in. It was fantastic.
How did they not call it Chad GPT? That's like a missed opportunity.
That's a huge missed opportunity. That is exactly what they should have called that. Massive missed opportunity. That is hilarious. Okay, cool. So as far as order of operations here and dividing and conquering, what order do we want to tackle these, JC? So obviously I'm just going to highlight in colors. I'll be blue. So this is obviously me because I can't code because I am useless. So I can do that itself. Just the quotes themselves. And it sounds like the next step after that, JC, was just actually building the infrastructure for the thing.
Yes, and so I think that'll be a good. I think that'll be a good next. Well, maybe not next stream. I think the next stream I actually want to go over the ideas we didn't pick.
I do too.
And then another one after that would be actually working on that API. If you wanted, you could also let your AI take a stab at it.
Oh, dude, that's what we're doing. The first pass, we'll hard cap this at like 30 minutes or an hour. But I need you to tell me what we need to build, and I'm going to see what kind of code GPT-4 will get me to do.
I'll just race the AI and build it
myself. Oh, let's do that. You have to tell me what. I don't even know where to start with this, so you'll have to tell me what I'm trying to build.
I mean, you should be able to tell it in plain language, and it should help. Like, it should kind of know what you want, right?
I guess.
I think you have to be clear with it that you aren't a developer, like to assume that you're not an engineer, and like you don't know how to deploy anything or.
Right.
But I'll race it. Oh, are we starting now?
I'm getting a head start because I don't even know how to prompt it initially. Hold on.
Shouldn't have to. It should just be able to read your mind.
Let's see what it says. Hold on. I'm just going to ask it, where do I start?
Can you zoom in?
I think so. Hold on.
Command plus. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, cool. What you got?
GPT-4 has been slow lately.
Oh!
Let's see here. Come on now.
Yikes.
There it goes. Got it. Okay. It just took 2 tries. That's all. Okay. Oh, it wants me to use Wix or Squarespace or something. Oh boy. No, I want to code the website. GPT. I want it to automatically pull from Google Sheets, GPT. No code API. Okay. I didn't know no code APIs were a thing.
Yeah. You can use Zapier to read from Google Sheets.
That's cool.
I built a whole business on that before.
Nice. Oh, now it's telling me. Why is Learn Arena not in here? Learn Arena should be right here. Soon.jpg. Okay. I'm afraid I'm going to lose this race. Oh, this is going to be funny. Okay, we're definitely doing that. That could be next stream. All right. Do you want to start working on it now in this stream, JC, or call it there and then reconvene like later tonight or tomorrow? My wife gets off work at 5:30, and then I'm going to meet her at the gym at like 6:30 ish.
Yeah. So yeah, it's after 5 here. I need to go be a husband and dad. So I think we'll take a stab at this, or maybe talking about those ideas we didn't select tonight.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Sweet.
We'll meet back up 8:30 or 9, somewhere in there.
Sweet. We have some other like back office stuff that we'll need to handle tonight or tomorrow or something, just setting up like YouTube and maybe some social, like Instagram, whatever, just stuff like that. I already got the Twitter account.
So maybe tonight we go through the ideas we didn't like, and then we'll just set up the back office stuff, like you said, the YouTube channel, you said you already have Twitter, so the other socials.
Yep.
We'll start doing that. Okay. Awesome. Sounds good. Well, we will meet back up tonight then.
All right. Thanks for watching.